That was probably his strongest point, is his leadership and ability to work with and get his troops to do what they needed to do. And that was exemplified after his death, because from his company commander, he said they carried on as if he was there, doing the thing that he would have them do.
He always said, lead from the front. He said, I'm not going to send them out, I'm going with them. Oh, look, these are his high school. I think that was when he was a senior in high school, and he never was without a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Always had, he was so handsome.
One in waiting.
Yeah. And he wrestled. Coach Turner was talking about him the other day, what a good wrestler he was, and he spent a lot of time helping train the young ones. And he loved school, and he excelled in school, and wanted to go to the Citadel, and off he went.
Yeah.
And I knew if we ever got him down there, he would never come back, because his older brother had been down there and succeeded, and he wasn't going to
give up. They were close.
I hope I don't tear up on this one. They were extremely close. Here's the Citadel picture of the two of them. Yep. Stan was a senior and Ryan was a freshman, and I made them go take. That was the only year they were there together, and I made them go take that picture. I'm so glad I did.
Stan always said he watched from a distance. He wasn't going to let Ryan ease to it because of his older brother, but he wasn't going to let him.
They both always were very patriotic. We were a patriotic family, and they both considered the military and serving, and of course that was where Stan wanted to go, and Ryan was right in behind. Ryan always did just about what Stan did. They were very, very close, and if one did one thing, the other was doing it. They were always together, and almost all the pictures I have are of both boys together. I've always, since Ryan was killed, wondered why I didn't have more single pictures of Ryan, but it was because we always put the two boys together. They were so close. And in fact, we have a picture of them, of the very last picture that was ever taken of Ryan, and was of his, he was sitting on the front porch with his brother.
Ryan, throughout, as far as we can remember, wanted to do something in law enforcement. That's all he ever talked about. He's always wanted to do that. Citadel has a very good
criminal
justice program, so that's what he majored in down there, and then he eventually hired on with Richland County Sheriff's Department under Sheriff Lott. Probably the best. He couldn't have gone to any place better. They got any better training, because they're top notch. They're top notch. They're the best that South Carolina has to offer. In college, he was back and forth whether to go in or not, and it was up to him. I encouraged him to go, number one, because they would pay for his junior and senior year. That's what. And but he made it through college. He still hadn't made up his mind, and then he got to the point where I've got to go in if I'm gonna go, and he opted to go in as a enlisted. He didn't care. He went in as enlisted. He said, I'll serve in this, and he, I think, started out maybe as a sergeant. And, for 2 or 3 years, he was enlisted, and then he decided to go to the PMA, the Palmetto Military Academy, and get his commission.
These are the last pictures he took with his children. When he was home for R&R, we went out to eat. And while we were waiting on our table, we took pictures of him and the children together. So that's how little they were. They were quite small. And, he was killed. Quite small.
Their whole mission as an MP unit was to keep the city of Khost protected, to work along the Afghan police, train them, aid them. Their particular mission that day was guarding they had a checkpoint set up and was checking IDs and of individuals at a marketplace. And the Afghan police refused to work that day. They were not going out, which Ryan said was not real uncommon. And they were not proactive in any way. But he said, "Well, we're gonna go out. We're gonna go out." And they set up their checkpoints and was checking. And First Sergeant Thomas recognized that one particular individual was not acting right. He was acting strange. He was belligerent. He was going on, and Brad
trying to get out of line.
Yeah, he was getting out of line. He told Ryan, said, "I'm fixing to take this fella down." Ryan had his back, was facing the other way, so he turned around to help Brad out. And then they realized something was right, and they were going to try to get him out of the area because it was the marketplace and it was full of Afghans. And they were going to try to get him out, and then at some point, either he set himself off or the driver of the car set him off, and that explosion had killed 3 of ours. It wounded 5 from slight seriousness to very serious, and it also killed 17 Afghans and wounded 34 of them. So it was a fair-sized bomb. This is when he came home from Dover.
Yeah, when he arrived at Columbia. Yeah, this is the first time we were able to actually touch the casket. And here's the deputies, the sheriff's deputies. Oh, look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sheriff's department provided the caisson, and the family we walked behind that. That was beautiful. That is something I will never forget, and can't thank them enough for. And that made it so special, just so beautiful. And the town of Lexington just turned out, and they were standing on each side of the road. They had signs that said, "Our hero, thank you, Ryan."
And JD's mother's funeral was going on at the exact same time, and they had, they showed up for them. So they had 2 warriors, right. 2 heroes that they were supporting. Pretty much shut Lexington down for a little bit.
Yeah, Lexington. I sent a thank you note to our town paper, thanking the community, thanking Lexington for their outpouring, for the coming that day, coming to see us, sending food, sending flowers, just whatever. The community
just showing their concern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to think that people had gotten away from being patriotic and loving their country, but after Ryan was killed, I know that it's not true. There are more people that love our country and that are patriotic than not. And we were shown that. We were shown, and have always been shown, a lot of love and concern. So, and these are pictures of his children that we had taken right after Ryan was killed, holding the flag, his little boy holding the flag, and his little girl kissing the picture of her daddy and looking at her daddy. Those are precious pictures. And this was the first family picture we had taken after Ryan was killed. This was in October, after he was killed in June, and we just couldn't bring ourselves to take the picture without him, so we we put his picture in there. And just amazing. Amazing the people that he influenced to better themselves. I tell Ryan's children all the time, your dad wouldn't want you to focus on how he died. He'd want you to remember how he lived. And he was just full of happiness and joy. He served others everywhere he went. He was very, very generous. And that's what he would want. He would want for his own children.
The avenues that this has presented us, which would have never come about any other way, is open our eyes to a lot of things that are going on out there that the public don't know about, and things that could be improved on, that to bring the general public aware of the sacrifices of not only soldiers but policemen and firemen and emergency response. I mean, they all go to work knowing that
that's right.
That their percentage of getting hurt or injured or killed are way higher than the general working public. So we owe it to them to bring their story, to bring their lives involved.